Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the vlog. Here it is, Sunday in the Thain house, and sun's starting to set. It's behind in the shadows over here. Anyway, busy weekend. We had a nice weekend getaway with her parents and family. Went to a hockey game. Didn't really film any of it though. We just got the cameras at home and just had a good family time. Anyway, busy weekend, so we're just like, hey, let's talk about one topic. And Sunday, we really like to talk about sort of like our week. We always sit down on Sunday and we plan out our week together, talk about things that are coming up, this and that and the other thing. So I was talking to Krista and I said, why don't we do a video about how we try to balance our lives and like what is a balanced life? What does that look like, feel like, and what does it mean to have balance in our lives? And so today I wanted to talk about our personal 5 pillars of balance. I feel like some of the pillars of balance would be shared between anyone, but you might have your own different pillars or what it means to be balanced for you. So let's get started. Okay, so the first pillar of balance that I feel like we try to make sure that we always have, I think this one is the easiest one to forget and the first one to always get the shaft is sleep. The first pillar of a healthy, balanced life for us is to get adequate sleep. And like I said, that's always the first thing to go, having a late night trying to get stuff done or, get too much sleep or not enough sleep. And I just feel like that's one of the ones that tends to get the shaft. What do you think?
I think so. I think, something good to note is that everybody needs a little bit of different amount of sleep depending on their body. You can usually tell when you haven't had enough or you've had too much sleep.
Yeah, I think if you look online, how much sleep, Google search, I've done it 1,000 times. How much sleep do I need? It totally depends on the person. Obviously you just have to play around with it, but I feel really good right now about my sleep schedule. I go to bed at 10 p.m. and I wake up at 5:30. So that's 7.5 hours. And that it just feels really good for me. Now, when I wake up at 5:30, I'm not like, all right, world, let's go. But I'm also not like dragging butt in the morning either.
That's good too.
So it's a real, it's a good position to be in. I used to go to bed at 11 and wake up at 5:30. And so basically what I basically had to decide to sacrifice an hour of free time for an extra hour of sleep. And that was hard for me because I've got so much going on that the extra hour of free time, I liked it. But the extra hour of sleep, it allows me to be more productive and a better me during the next day. So it was a sacrifice that I was willing to make. What about you?
Yeah, I think I seem to need just a little bit more sleep than Kyle. And now that I'm pregnant, I need a little bit more sleep than that. Say. So I try, if I can, I try to hold out till 9 o'clock, 9:30 sometimes. 10 o'clock sometimes, but like overall try to go somewhere between the range of 9 to 10. So that's pretty much my average, and then I wake up at like 5:30 and then I'm pretty well ready to go.
And we both wake up at 5:30. Yeah, and I think in a perfect world, I've always, obviously our society doesn't allow for this, but I think it would be really cool to be able to get up and with the sun and go to sleep with the sun. Obviously it's not how life works. I think like we said earlier, a different amount of sleep is needed for a different amount of people. Everybody needs something different, and you just gotta really, like think about it for yourself and what it means for you. But if you're not getting enough sleep, everything else kind of falls by the wayside. I think it's a big, we could talk about there's sleep and research about sleep, but I just know for myself personally, after a good night rest, there's nothing that can replace that. Your body does so much stuff overnight while you're sleeping that just not getting enough sleep. My old mantra used to be, I'll sleep when I'm dead, but it's not good, especially in the winter. And we'll talk more about seasons on our next pillar. But so pillar number 1 is sleep, getting enough sleep. Okay, so pillar number 2 is food, is diet.
Yes. And I like to think of it more, I don't always like to think of it as a diet. I like to think about it as fuel.
Yeah.
What I need to sustain me. And there's, depending on what's going on in your life, your different activity levels and such, you're going to need different types of food, different amounts of food. So we've been doing the vegan lifestyle for 3 months.
3 months. Well, I mean, it's more about what you're putting in your body. Obviously, things are cliche for a reason. You know, the old cliche, you already eat, or good in, good out, that kind of thing. And that's never been more evident right now in my life. Putting good things, vegan or not vegan, but going more plant-based, eating more plants, fruits, vegetables, whole foods, like as nature intended, without so many chemicals and stuff I don't know. Like, I like to be able to read the ingredients on my food and go, hey, I know all those things. Or there's like one ingredient in this, and putting good whole foods in your body, like, just the results are incredible. Like, we've been vegan for 3 months, and before I went vegan, I was 215 pounds, and now I'm 184 pounds, and it's just been 3 months. So, and I haven't changed anything in my exercise. Nothing. And matter of fact, I think I exercise less. So basically just eating good, healthy foods. And, it really truly is, like, I believe food is medicine. And I believe that, we've been conditioned to believe now in our society that you get sick, you go to the doctor, they give you a pill. But you got to realize that big pharmaceutical companies, they are in it for profit. And, I'm not against medicine at all, but food has its place as well. You can do a lot of good work for your body through eating healthy and preventative work. Doctors and hospitals, they're not in the business of preventative work. They are there to treat you when you get sick. But food and the type of things you put in your body can go a long way in preventing getting disease or sickness. And I think when I feel very balanced right now in my life with my food. I don't get gross feelings anymore when I eat. I just feel like the food that I'm putting in my body is fueling me, and it really took a switch in how we think about food to make it more balanced.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And also, yes, finding, it's about like we said, like thinking about food a little bit differently, thinking about food as fuel, but also finding some different ways to, there are some type of cravings or some types of foods that you like, and maybe finding a healthier substitute is okay.
There's a healthier, alternative for every type of food you could possibly think of. But when thinking about food in a different way, we used to plan our days around our meals, and like just I comfort ate, and I would eat out of boredom, and I would eat just because, it's time for a snack, and these are the snack type foods, and I would eat when I wasn't even hungry, it's just time for my snack. And it takes a psychological change. You have to like think about food differently now, if you really want to, have that balance in your life. And like I said, vegan or not vegan, vegetarian or not vegetarian, whatever, putting healthy, putting more, there's no science against eating more fruits and vegetables, right? Like, you can argue all you want about, dairy or meat or whatever, but there's no argument that says, no one's ever going to say, yeah, man, you're eating too many vegetables. You got to cut down on those fruits and vegetables. No, it's impossible. So,
unless it's all you eat.
Yeah, I get you. But seriously, like, just put more good food in your body. Like, so for us, so this isn't like preaching like what you should do. This is like how we maintain balance. So our pillar 2 is food and feeling at peace with what we're eating in our diet. And we're both feeling pretty good about that, being vegan right now. So pillar 1 was sleep, pillar 2 is food. Pillar 3 for balance for us is definitely movement or exercise. So like, not just exercise like in a traditional sense, like I'm going to put on my workout clothes and go for a workout, like movement, like not having a sedentary lifestyle and moving around. Like, there's the cultures that live the longest tend to have more movement in their day-to-day life. Us, our Western culture, a lot of people sit at a desk all day and sit, and we have higher, rates of heart disease and diabetes and all that stuff, and we tend to not live as long as some of the other countries who have more fluid movement throughout the day. And so, as a teacher, I'm moving around all the time. I don't almost ever sit down, but I try to incorporate like more movement, like whatever that might be. I like to play outside at recess with the kids, right? I go on swings, and just like when I get home, moving around and going on walks and stuff like that. Sometimes going on jogs. But the reality is, I don't go to like the gym. I feel like that's kind of, my opinions on gyms is like, I hate them. So that's my opinion. I'd rather just go outside and jog or like lift up heavy things. Like I just hate going to the gym. I've always hated it.
Okay. Yeah, and for me, like right now with my job, it's pretty sedentary. So I try to find little breaks to, go to the bathroom, walk up and down the hall a little bit.
Take the stairs whenever possible.
Take the stairs when I can. Sometimes if I get a little break, I'll take like a quick lap around the building, and it's good. And so I need to be a little bit more conscious, probably a little bit more conscious about my movement than Kyle. But I also don't go to the gym. Doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with going to the gym. I just prefer walking and yoga, and I like to dance. I haven't done a lot of that lately, but
Yeah, it's the movement aspect of life is more. It's not. It depends on what you get value out of and happiness out of. Like for me, I'm never gonna get happiness from going to a gym and standing on a treadmill. Some people like that. I get the happiness from being outside, and even in the winter, trying to make it work going outside. What I typically try to do is try to make it a part of my routine. So like as much as I can at 4:00 is usually when I try to like go out for a nice jog or walk, because it's like before you get home from work, it's still my time where I'm alone and I can be like mindful, and that actually brings me to number 4 pillar, which is mindfulness. So like. Well, I mean, what we mean when we talk about mindfulness is being aware of what you're thinking about and like trying to be purposeful with my actions and decisions and my time, not just mindlessly autopiloting throughout my day. Like if we're honest with ourselves, like pause this video or after this video, ask yourself how much time in a given 24 hours or in a given day when you're awake do you spend in your head? Or in the past, or in the future. How much of your time are you actually in the present? And that's something that I always strive to try to do. And I'm not perfect at it. I spend a lot of time in the past. Right. I spend a lot of time in the future. But every day I try to do a little bit better at trying to focus on right here, right now. And that's part of the reason why I vlog, is because I have to do this every single day. Like I have to create something every day. I have to edit and upload and do and get off my butt every single day and do something, and to be mindful of what's going on, and just the ability to be in the moment as much as possible is something that that's one of my values, and it's not easy at all.
No, it's not easy. It's not. Something that's a hard practice today. I think I think it was a couple weeks ago, Kyle was having a hard time being mindful. I think today was a little bit one of my tricky days of being mindful. So. I remember when I did, if you watch my channel, I do some mental health videos sometimes, and we talked about like a mindfulness walk, but then a bunch of my viewers gave me some other good tips, like pretty much any activity you can do mindfully, just really focusing and being in the present, whether it's dishes or whatnot. You can do meditation, yeah.
Cleaning. Something where you're focusing on what you're doing right now, not thinking about the past or future. Yeah. Nothing wrong with either one of those things. We have to learn from our mistakes in the past, and we have to plan for the future. But being mindful, to me, it's pretty healing, and it's also just like it helps me feel balanced when I feel like I had a good day today. It's like one of those things, like one of those feelings where you're like, wow, today was a good day, but I don't know why. Right. A lot of times, if I reflect and really think about it, it's because I was present. Like if you go to like some random function, right, where normally it might just be a random, like I'm just here, whatever. But like if you're mindful and you're talking to people and you're vibing with people and you're present and you're helping out, it feels good. Right, versus if you're just going, I want to get home, I got so much stuff to do, oh my gosh, right? Like something as simple as going to the bank can be more pleasant when you're mindful, talking to the people and stuff like that. So that's pillar 4. So sleep, food, movement, mindfulness. And the 5th one, the final pillar for our balanced life, or how we try is purpose, or what was the word it had a C in it. The word that I was contribution. So like feeling like I'm contributing to something, making an impact, leaving my mark, feeling like I am like purposeful, and like there's a reason why I'm here, right? Like that is 5. And I think that one's huge. And I think in order to work on that one, you have to have the other 4 in place. Because if you're tired all the time, or you're not eating right, or you're not exercising, or you're not mindful, you're not going to be thinking about how can I leave an impact on the world, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why it's number 5. These are not in any particular order. It's just, I think when all those other things have been met, the contribution to the greater good, or like when I die, what will I leave behind? Will I have given more than I've taken? Something like that. You know what I mean? Like that to me is huge. And so obviously both of us, I'm a teacher and she's a social worker. So we both in our day we both feel like we're giving of ourselves and contributing to the greater good every day. But outside of work, you know, at doing YouTube videos and connecting with you guys on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all the things that we do with that realm, we feel like, look, in 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years, if the internet's still around, if the world is still here, our grandchildren and great-grandchildren can come back and look at these videos and go, hey, those 2 dopes on camera, that was my grandpa. Or, you know, and so, or anyone that gets any benefit from watching us live our lives, just a couple of blokes. You know, like we're not nobody special, but we like sharing our life with you, and there's been countless emails from you, and we thank you so much for them about just the positive impact that we have. We've heard somebody say, watching your videos is the highlight of my day. I'm like, wow, that that's like awesome. You kind of like when someone says it, like, oh, say thank you, you know, thanks. But then when you realize they hit yourself, like, wow, that's amazing, you know. So we wouldn't be doing this without you guys, without all of you, the community members, but. Feeling like we contribute something to the common good is pillar number 5.
Yes, 5 pillars. Let it begin.
So,
I don't know.
You know, that's just how we find balance in our life, and we're constantly trying to tweak. And like, middle of the week, we'll say, "Hey, how are you feeling about sleep?" Or "How are you feeling about our food this week?" It's just talking about it. It's keeping it top of mind so that it's always sort of in frame. How are we doing with sleep? How are we doing with movement? How are we doing? Do you feel like okay, how are you feeling about the YouTube channel? Do you because sometimes I'm like, man, I just not feeling it this week. I want to do a video that's got some like drone footage or, you know, whatever. I mean, my creative, she'll ask me how I'm doing with that or whatever. And like just keeping each other in check for that balance. But ultimately it's your own journey of finding that balance and not feeling like you're giving everything to one part of your life.
Right. That's when you might feel unbalanced, exhausted, tired. I guess those are both words for tired.
Yeah, I mean, I think when, you know, any time in my life where I'm feeling depressed or anxious or just down in general, it might be contributed to not having the balance that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that's the key, is to just try to maintain that balance and try to stay focused on that and cognizant of what's going on.
Yes. And I guess if I could add a small tidbit to purpose or contribution, just know, I know sometimes when I think about that, I get a little bit overwhelmed. I'm like, holy crap, like, you know, what am I gonna contribute to my world, and try to think of like this big grand thing, and often like small acts of kindness, small gestures, or there's things you can do every day to just make the world a little bit better.
Yeah, you don't have to be a YouTuber or somebody famous or do something crazy awesome to make a contribution to the world. You can do something small and simple.
Strike up a conversation with somebody at church that you normally don't talk to,
or anything small at all.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Something a little different. I want to talk about, share with you sort of how this is kind of almost like our value system. Like, we value those things and trying to keep those in check. So maybe make a list for you. If you're feeling unbalanced right now, make a list for yourself. What are your 5 pillars? Leave them down in the comments below if you have anything different, or just tell us your 5 pillars of your balanced life. I hope you got some value out of this video. We love you guys. Find your gift.
Share it with the world.
And remember,
you are worth it.
See you tomorrow.